So basically, I sat down and Lady, who is right here, was barking at Champ, who is right here, and they were a little bit over here. So basically, Lady was basically barking with him, either saying, play with me, or I want your toy. Now, because of the way they're interacting, I knew it wasn't aggression. It was just basically she's young and she's just a pup. You know, even though she's 2, she's still kind of, maturing. And so he kind of is letting her, I think, do things that more in the public setting, like in a dog park, he wouldn't let another dog get away with, but she's in her circle. So what do you guys do when she starts barking at him, demanding something?
We try to get, we'll do kind of what you did, like, hey, like, cut it out, and if so a lot of times she doesn't, so we have to physically get up and walk towards her, and then she runs away and knows, so she knows she's, like, when we ask her to stop, not to do it, but she makes us kind of...
Do you do it immediately, or do you do it when it gets on your nerves?
More when it gets on nerves.
Okay. So dogs learn by probing. They go through life probing, waiting to be corrected. They're expecting to be corrected when they get too far. If we don't have a lot of rules, which I didn't get a chance to ask you, but a lot of my clients ask them, what rules do your dogs have? And they can't tell me any rules. But they're good dogs most of the time. But if the dogs don't have any rules, that gives the impression that they have the same authority as you. And if they have the same authority as you, then listening to you is optional.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to dogs and dog behavior, one of the most important things is timing. Dogs learn through association. So if the dog is barking, and then after a minute and a half, we get our tolerance level and we go, Lady, quiet. Lady's like, what about my 27th bark do you have a problem with? Because I barked 26 times and you didn't say anything. So, and I know it sounds funny, but by not disagreeing with them right away, we confuse them. Because clearly you're not disagreeing with my barking because I've been barking for a minute and a half and you haven't objected yet. Yeah. So if you were objecting the barking, you would have already done it by now. Dogs, like I said, they learn through association. So the window that I usually tell people is 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, it's harder for them to understand what it is you're disagreeing with. Your target should be a third of a second. So even though it's kind of annoying and frustrating to have to stop immediately, if you do it consistently right after like the second bark, after a while she's just like, oh, they don't want me to be doing this.
Okay.
But if we let it go, like I said, it's confusing to her. So that's a general rule of thumb whenever you're going to reward or correct your dogs, you want to do it with right away, and your target should be within about 3 seconds.
Okay.
So I think if you can start consistently disagreeing with her right away, she's going to understand that behavior is not allowed.
So like right now, sometimes
this is
obsessively
lick her?
and when he stops, she gets mad and goes at him.
Well, this is kind of an appeasement, it can be, or it could be like some grooming. I'm going to help each other. I mean, it really is an indicator that they have a close bond. And if he enjoys doing it, and she's doing it, and she enjoys having him do it, and disagrees when he stops, now if she disagrees and is petulant about it, would be different.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's a good, healthy, social interaction between the two of them, as long as this doesn't become problematic. Like, I've seen dogs that lick a nipple or something to such an extent it gets inflamed. Okay. So if you see some irritation or something like that, then we would disagree. But what we just witnessed here on this in this little film footage is very healthy, appropriate behavior. It's actually something a lot of my clients would actually wish their dogs would engage in. Okay. So yeah, don't take that as the wrong thing. Now, if he's licking you obsessively and we allow it to happen, that can be a way of marking. So now he was licking her face, which is different. But if he's consistently licking us, and I had one client, they're like, but it feels good to kind of when he licks me, and that's kind of, could be crossing a line. Yeah. But a dog marks by, male dogs mark by peeing. Some females will do that. They also sometimes will rub their shoulder along the couch or something. It's a way of scent marking. And then licking a lot can be a third way of marking. So if your dogs are doing that, that indicates usually that the dogs think of themselves in having an authority position. So I'm guessing.
So if he goes and licks, like, say, a spot on the bed, or like...
We'll talk about that off camera because this is getting a little bit long. But so the whole point of this video is I just want to make sure that, although we don't have any dogs in the shot now, that we're disagreeing and correcting the dogs right away to help them understand what it is.
Okay.